Hello, my name is Peter Phelps of Phelps 3D, and in this video I'm going to discuss the differences between using a loft and using a sweep sometimes and trying to design parts. Now, basically a loft creates an object out of multiple sketches or drawings, depending on what you want to use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to do it on the YZ plane. I'm going to say OK, and I'm just going to create a simple cylinder. So I'm circle. And I'm going to put it close to there. So it's pretty much touching. I'm going to say close. ZY. And I'm going to take that sketch and I'm going to make a bunch of copies. Control. I'm going to take a move now. Z. Now, originally when I first tried to do this, I was trying to create the like a squiggly you might put on top of a hot dog. You know, you put your ketchup or your mustard or something like that onto a hot dog, a little round thing on top of it. But you're going to see that it's going to look kind of weird. This all depends on your spacing, where it's at, and I'm going to twist some of these a little bit like this, because I thought twisting them would give them the right angles. It kind of didn't work out that way either. I'll bring this one back. Makes it harder to do words. I'm just using my scroll mouse. Move, increment, move. Start there. So here we have a pattern, and you would expect that the loft would go through that like sort of shape. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to create a little draft. The other way to do this would be to try and create. I'm going to click here, 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 here. So there's two. This way I'm comparing how you do this if you wanted to in both ways to do this. So this would be a sweep, and this would be our loft. And what I'll do is I'll copy the original circle and paste it. But this one will be moved so that it's touching that. Okay. And I don't like to have the draft grid, so I'm going to toggle that. Now I'm going to go back to part. But first we're going to try doing just the loft. And we're going to loft between all the sketch circles that I just created. And we're going to go create solid. Say OK. Now, I bet you didn't expect that. That's the fun of working with the loft feature. It can come up with some very unpredictable shapes. Now, what I found is sometimes you can get a decent shape if you only go between, like, let's say we went the first three. So we go loft, we go 1, 2, 3. Say create solid. Say OK. And then you sit there and go, okay, I want to loft again. This time I want to go from the last one and that one, and just do 3 again. Usually is a good number. Create solid. Okay. And then maybe do it again. Let's see which one. That was first. That one. 4, 5, 6. Create solid. Okay. And then we're going to do one more loft just to go from 6, 7. Okay, solid. Of course, it's going to look a little weird. Now that kind of gives you a bit better of a shape overall. I mean, at least it's not completely coming outside of what you were defining, but it's still not quite the squiggly that we were looking for. Thus, we're going to try the other fashion. We're going to sweep. We're going to take the last sketch here. We're going to say create solid. We're going to select the B-spline. Go back over here and say OK. And still, this has a little bit of a, see where it kind of bent in here. Now, sometimes this will depend completely on where we placed the circle. So we could delete the sweep, try to move the circle around, or just try to move the circle. I'm gonna make the sweep disappear, hide it for a bit, and I'm gonna take a good look at where it's at. See, I'm not totally touching too, so that's not good. I thought I was. So let's bring this down. down there. Okay. And then I'm going to use the alt to move it up a little. Try to make sure. Now, what we could do is we could try to move it down even further. Just like a move. There. Try that. Now, did that change what it looks like? Oops, it looks even worse now. That's even worse. But yeah, you could play with where it's at. Try to get it. See, it's really difficult to come up with completely good parts for this type of item. I think I ended up cutting in smaller, wider arcs just to get the. If you take and double click on the spline, you can manipulate the arc a little bit. Oops. I'm manipulating it though in 3D space, which is probably not good unless you want to make it completely. Come on. So yeah, can't undo that. That's another thing. FreeCAD undo doesn't always undo the last thing you're trying to do. Like I think I just removed the somehow just removed the all I'm gonna do is just delete that and make another one. So it looks like it's on X1. Let's see what happens when we do that one. Okay, park. It's still kind of funky. So this is one of the reasons that the FreeCAD is not very good at doing organic type shapes. It's extremely hard to work with when you're trying to do this type of thing, and you're not getting results that you think you should be. This is when people go, ah! But I did successfully get my little squiggly in that, but I think I ended up working on it for like 45 minutes or an hour just to do it. Make the sweep disappear. Try to work on the B-spline a little. Try to make it a little less pronounced. Maybe it won't overlap itself. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Is it overlaps. That's a little better, but it's not as wiggly as I hoped for. But like I said, you just gotta play with the shapes and where they're at sometimes. I wonder if I move the circle. Take the circle. What's that gonna do? Not a whole lot of difference. But yeah, you can create some very complicated parts using this type of thing, but sometimes it can also be one of the most frustrating parts of FreeCAD. I would definitely probably use the sweep over the spline for the sweep over the or the loft. Sorry, for this type of a project where you're trying to get something venue, but not you can't use just the same shape. What's funny is, okay, I designed, I ended up designing a dragon toy that also was basically based off of just the sweep. My cowbone from this was designed with a set of sweeps and lofts. Most of this was a loft. This is a sweep. These are sweeps, but actually lofts. These here, the arms are lofts. So they were like circling here, then a couple circles here, and then one down at the bottom, one here, one here, one here, one out here. And then I created another loft that went from there to there. Created that shape with the loft. Let's find the dragon. No regular. This here was a bunch of, it was both lofts and sweeps. This is my lovers number 4. It didn't quite come out the way I expected. There are parts in this one that are not very good, that somehow it got messed up. I couldn't get that one to repair, but I did make a number 5, I think, that looked a little better. Let's see if I can find the change. Chinese Dragon one is a good example. Here we go. Oops. This is a spline that then has two different parts being swept over it. One that has like a little 3. It's like a line with the little 3 edges, and then the other is just sort of circular with that same matching line. So the body is made out of 2 different parts, and then I attach a tail, head, legs to it. So those are examples of what you could do with that type of working. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.